rare adventures of Biggles. Biggles hears the strange story of Major Marley, the renegade Englishman who lives on the upper reaches of the Pakchan River, and is greatly interested by Lai Chai's suggestion that the Major too may have rubber to sell to the British government. But before there's time to act on the information, Ayat rushes into the bungalow with the news that a rebel launch, loaded with men, is approaching the island. The air police and the two former pirates hurry to the hilltop to observe the oncoming raiders.
The blighters are definitely heading this way. I say, it's a pity you haven't a few pieces of cannon mounted about the island, lie, old sausage. We'd sink them in no time, what?
I have often considered the installation of heavy guns, but against a force of that size, I do not think they will be necessary.
No, we'll clean them up easily. That launch wouldn't hold more than 20 at the most.
We fight like Chai. I get men ready.
What is your desire, Biggles? I have 100 men on the island. The task of repelling this raid should not prove a difficult one.
No, we'll throw them off easily enough, but I'm curious to know why Fire Tuck sent such a small party. Surely couldn't expect to invade the island with that force.
Well, they're raiders, that's all. The sausage seems bally eager to know what's going on in this neck of the woods, and he sent those trouts across to find out. You mark the word of Ulysses.
Well, you'll need quite a few men to repel them, but I wish to blazes we could keep them away from the island.
What is your concern, my friend? They cannot prevail against us.
No, of course not. I don't think they're expected to, but it'll be difficult to prevent them escaping into the jungle and losing themselves. And then we'll be surrounded by spies, and Fire Tuck will be supplied with detailed information of our activities.
If we had some bombs, we'd stop the swine easily enough. We'd just burl up in the Wanderer and let fly. What about the Bren? Could we take up the kite and strafe them with the Bren?
Afraid not. No, this is one of those stupid situations where we know those blokes are enemies, but we mustn't fire the first shot. If we start shooting, we definitely brand ourselves the aggressors.
But if we don't shoot, how are we to stop them landing? There'll be plenty of aggression if that happens.
Yeah, much killing. Put Unkabala. Chop off head. Mati.
I've got it. We'll bomb the blighters.
But we haven't any bombs. And Biggles wouldn't let us use them if we had.
We have rocks, haven't we?
Honestly, you grow more cuckoo every day, Bertie. What do you think we're going to do, throw stones at them?
More or less, old trout, but from the Wanderer. I mean to say, even a small rock dropped from a couple of 100 feet will make quite a respectable splash, won't it?
What's the idea, Bertie?
Well, a simple one, old sausage. We load the kite with a pile of fair-sized rocks. Ginge flies it just ahead of the launch, and the Lissy tribe tosses the masonry overboard.
He's crazy, just plain crazy.
The trouts in the launch won't know they're rocks, and they'll think we're dropping a pattern of bombs, or even mines just in front of them.
Of course. And they will take no risks. At once they will turn their craft and return to the mainland. Truly, this Lissy is a brilliant man.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, well, it'll all be very pretty and most hygienic. The blighters will burble off in double quick time, and there won't be any gory mess to clean up. Not a drop of blood anywhere.
By George, it's worth trying.
Behold, Harriet, even Ginge thinks we're a genius.
You're an idiot. But we'll do it. This is the only way to dodge a fight.
Oh, no killing.
No killing, Ayat. But don't worry, your day will come. Now, come on, you blokes, get a rustle on. That launch is coming close. Load the rocks aboard and go after it.
Hello. Hello, testing. Intercom working okay? Fine, old sausage. I can hear your dulcet tones as if I were in the cockpit beside you, unfortunately.
Oh, that's enough cheek from you, Bertie. Are you standing by the hatch?
Standing ready and waiting for the word of the master.
Well, I'm coming round in a turn now. Be ahead of the launch in about 10 seconds. Here we go. Ready? Right, bombs away.
Right. One. Two. Now one more and...
Hold it, Bertie. They're turning. The blighters are putting about.
Oh, we've scared them off. I say, what price old David and Goliath now, what?
They're going for their lives. Your second one landed about a foot from the nose.
Go after 'em, old sausage. Ooze onto their tail, and I'll drop another one behind them for luck. Scare the daylights out of the bounders, what?
Good scheme. For standby. Ready? Bombs away.
Right, now. Out she goes. Right.
That'll be enough, Bertie. Almost connected that time. They won't come back now.
Come on, Harriet, scare 'em some more. Give 'em such a fright they'll never put out in a bally launch again.
It was the funniest sight I've seen for ages, the way those blokes ducked when the water showered over them.
You know, I was very tempted to go even closer and land one right in the launch. That would have made them duck.
Yes, it would also have sunk the launch, and we'd have had them swimming to the island. Don't worry, you did very well as it was. Now then, while there's a breather, we must start the rubber moving. How's the runway going, Alger?
They're doing a wonderful job. I reckon there'll be room for one kite to land by tonight and a couple by this time tomorrow.
Right, then we'll start at once. Care for another trip to Singapore, old man?
Sure, anything you like.
All right, take Bertie with you this time. He and Pat can bring back the 2 freighters and start the shift.
Oh, absolutely. We Lissies are beginning to miss the old Patricia, darling.
Hey, what about me? Why should he have all the plums?
There'll be a very choice plum for you and me while they're away, Ginge. We're going to see Major Marling at Shanxi.
Won't you need a kite for that?
Biggles has questioned me on the matter. There is no landing field available at the settlement.
Yes, I thought of using the river, but apparently it's muddy and maybe full of snags. I think the kite will be better employed on the trip to Singapore.
Yes, I suppose it will. All right, we'll get cracking at once. Come on, Bertie.
Oh, toodle-pip, old trouts, and look after yourself on this Shanxi trip. You could land in the most frightful mess without a Lissy to lean on, you know.
Well, that's more than possible. Now then, what's the drill? You promised to plan the campaign for us.
It is already arranged. A family of Salones has put into the island. They are Malayan sea gypsies, good fellows, most of them. I have had a yacht arrange for them to take us to Shanxi in their cabang,
What on earth's that?
their boat. You would perhaps call it a houseboat, because there is a covered portion aft in which the Salones live. There are many such craft in the area, and the movement of one on the river should not cause suspicion. But if need be, we can hide in the living quarters.
Sounds ideal. We'll have to pass the headquarters of this fellow Fire Talk on the way, won't we?
His village is at the mouth of the river. It is for that reason I have arranged that we make the journey at night. If it will be convenient to you, we shall leave at dusk.
That'll suit us fine. When should we arrive?
The distance by river is from 50 to 60 miles. Providing the Salones make use of the evening breeze, we should be well into the river by daylight, and I think should arrive tomorrow afternoon.
I see. Well, the sooner the better. Oh, come along. Let's relax for a few hours, Ginge.
Okay.
Tonight we'll be forging into enemy territory, and if anything comes unstuck, we may have to do without our beauty sleep.
These Salones are villainous-looking birds, aren't they?
Are you sure they can be trusted, Lai?
I am certain of it. For many years, the sea gypsies have been my friends and have frequently acted as my spies. Apart from which, they know that their fate would not be pleasant if they were to betray me.
Why? What would happen to them?
What would happen, Irat?
Hey, keep that beastly knife in your belt. You nearly lopped off my ear.
The sun has disappeared. Irat, you may tell the Salones we are ready to leave.
Ya, Tuan. Baik Kurumuti Balaya, Sungai Pakchan.
It would be wise to keep our voices low. We are passing Victoria Point, the village at which Fatak has set up his headquarters.
The danger area, eh? The lights seem well to port, so we have to move close to them.
I have instructed the captain to hug the opposite shore, so that we may avoid being seen. I think we have passed safely.
Oh, thank heaven for that. Now we can sleep without worrying ourselves sick.
Yes, we can sleep, Ginge, but not too soundly, old boy. We're in rebel territory now, and we'll be going deeper and deeper into it. Yes, sleep by all means, but be ready to jump into action at a moment's notice.
Well, I don't know what you were worried about, Biggles. I had a wonderful night, and this morning I'm ready to take on all the rebels in the east.
I hope you won't have to. Still, I'm very glad the night passed quietly. Now we're traveling through jungle country, the danger shouldn't be nearly so great.
Now I think all will be well. It is known that Firetuck has concentrated his forces mainly in the coastal region.
Mm-hmm.
So with every mile we travel, danger decreases.
Awas.
What is it?
Dinger.
I hear something. His ears are sharper than ours. Listen.
Yes, I can hear it too. It's another launch.
Ja, Lotus. Lotus come this way.
The Lotus? Well, that's the boat that came against the island. What on earth is it doing upriver?
I fear it can have only one purpose. Our presence has been reported, and the Lotus is following us to investigate.
Biggles and Ginger listen tensely as the launch quickly overtakes the slower Kabang. How can they escape? Don't miss the thrills in the next chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles. The Air Adventures of Biggles. In a battered native craft, Lai Chai is taking Biggles and Ginger to meet Major Marling and discuss with him the purchase of rubber for the British government. It's a dangerous trip because the Major's property, Shanxi, is on the upper Pakchan River, and his visitors must sail close to the rebel settlement at the mouth and delve deep into hostile territory. During the night, Victoria Point is passed successfully, and by morning it seems the danger has been left behind. But Ayert's sharp ears hear the sound of a launch approaching. It is the Lotus, the rebels' patrol boat, and it's quickly overtaking the heavy Kabang.
I say there could be no mistake about this.
I got no Lotus. He engine many times.
I am afraid there is no mistake. We have passed several native craft. If it was noticed that we had Europeans aboard, such information would have been quickly passed to Firetuck. I fear this has happened and the Lotus has been sent to find us.
If it's loaded with soldiers again, our number will be up. Will these Salonis fight, Lai?
I should not ask it of them. They have endangered themselves enough by accepting us as passengers on their boat.
We may be too heavily outnumbered to risk a scrap. By Jove, we'll have to do something. That launch isn't far away.
Couldn't we put ashore? Then if the rebels search the Kabang, they'll be satisfied.
Again, it throws the risk onto our benefactors.
Well, hang it all, Lai. We aren't going to give ourselves up to the swine. It's all very well for you to sit there impassively.
The eyes can observe even though the face expresses no emotion, my impulsive friend. Close to our starboard bow, there is a thick clump of rushes. Ayat, have the captain lower his sail and steer the Kabang to a place of hiding behind them.
Ayat steer. Ayat do these work plenty time. Ayat buckles.
I say that Ayat of yours is very Biggles. If Scotland Yard would have him, I'd make him a member of the Air Police very gladly.
I fear that Scotland Yard would frown upon the amount of blood which Ayat loves to spill. He is a born pirate. He was not made to defend the law.
Look at the way he's sneaking the boat in here. It's easy to see this isn't the first time.
In our profession, we become well versed in the art of concealment from a stronger force. If one does not learn, one does not live.
He seems set now.
We safe here. Argus, rebel not see through rashes.
You have done well, Ayat. But there is one fault in the position you have chosen. The men of the Lotus cannot see us, but neither can we see them.
Well, does that matter? As long as we give them the slip, I don't want to see the brutes.
It is always wise to know and understand the movements of one's enemies.
Ayat watch. Tuan stay in Kabang. Sit quiet. Awas. Ayat climb into water and watch for Lotus.
If there is need for activity on our part, do not be slow with your warning, Ayat.
Ayat tell. Tuan have gun ready. Ayat, I've prang. Oh, bagus prang.
I wonder if he can see it yet.
Should be able to. Sounds of it's coming round the bend.
I suggest that we refrain from speaking unless it is necessary. Even over the noise of the engines, sharp ears may detect our voices.
They're going past.
Quiet, Chich. It's still almost level. Yes. Yes, I think we're safe.
There is no longer danger. If they had suspected our presence, they would have shown some sign before now.
They go, Tuan. Ayat too cunning. Hide too good, huh?
What did you see? Was it the Lotus?
Ayat seen Lotus long time ago. Plenty men on deck. Much gang. Much parang. Merim timbag deras.
A machine gun. It is well they did not see us.
There's one curious factor. That launch is travelling on full throttle. Ayat, do they appear to be searching for anything?
Tidak, Tuan. They lie on deck, sleep, smoke. They not look for anything.
Well, if they were looking for us, they wouldn't be travelling at speed, and the troops would be on the alert. Bye, what do you make of it?
It is an aspect which had not occurred to me. But it seems they do not suspect an enemy to be in close proximity to them. It would appear that they are still some distance from their objective.
By George, I know what it is. They're heading for Chauncey. They're going to raid Major Marling's place.
That is the only possible answer. There is no other settlement on the river. Yes. Yes, it is likely that this is a face-saving maneuver. The raid on Dolphin Island failed ignominiously, so Firetuck has decided to draw the blood of his enemies by attacking the only other white man in the area, Major Marling.
My dear, this is bad. If Marling has been left alone for so long, he won't be expecting an attack. He may be caught unprepared.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it, Biggles. We can't race the launch in this old tub.
But we can warn the Major.
What?
Between here and Chauncey, the river winds considerably. While there are still many miles to travel by water, overland, the distance is not great.
Well, then we'll warn him and help defend the place. That sounds more like it.
It would be unwise for us all to make the journey. The jungle is dense and in places treacherous with swamps. Those of us who are unfamiliar with it may take longer than we would in the Kabang. But Ayat knows it well.
I go, Lee. I tell Marling Tuan of rebel dogs.
Tell him also of our approach, and then return immediately to meet us by the river.
We aren't going to wait here, Lai. We're going to push on.
That is my intention. There is a disused landing stage of which Ayat knows. It is close to Chauncey, and will be a suitable rendezvous for us. Do you understand, Ayat?
Yeah, Tiditao, understand. I go. Get to Chauncey long time before Lotus. Slamat.
Well, I think there'll still be some more excitement left when we arrive, you chaps.
You bet there will. You were right about this being the plum, Biggles. I wouldn't swap places with Bertie for quids.
By Jove, you know, Pat, old darling, I find it in the Lissy heart to be sorry for those poor old beans locked away in the scrub. By Jove, this is the life for a Lissy. Comfortable pub, a jolly good dinner inside me, and the most yummy dish in Singapore sitting opposite. Dashed exhilarating, what?
I'm not sure that I like being called a dish, Bertie.
Oh, I didn't just call you a dish, old darling. I said a yummy dish. Quite different. There are times when I find you positively scrumptious, particularly after a good meal.
That's just a sense of well-being. It'll be a different story when we're back on the job again, and you're feeling hungry and tired.
Oh, dash it all, old darling. Don't bring up the ghastly subject of work. This is a time for romance, for luscious damsels, food. Oh, dear. Oh, well, I don't suppose Algy will leave us alone for long. Someone's always trying to cut in on us Lissies.
Maybe that's because you Lissies are always trying to cut in on them.
Mr. Lissy, you are wanted on the telephone.
Oh, thanks very much. Just excuse me, Pat. Hello? Oh, Algy. Oh, good show, old boy. The other 4 kites have arrived from Hong Kong, eh? Yes, and you've been a dashed long time. Oh, you've been taking delivery of them.
Are they Bristol freighters?
Bristol freighters, Algy? Oh, splendid. Oh, well, that makes 6 we have now. Yes, well, look here, you know, even with 6 Bristols, old boy, it's still going to take us a dickens of a time to move all that rubber. 5,000 tons is an awful lot, don't you think, Pat?
Well, we've been through all that before. There's nothing else we can do.
Oh, yes, I know, and I think Algy does too. Look here, even if each kite makes 2 trips a day, it'll take nearly a month to finish the job, old boy. And, dash it all, we can't do 2 flights a day, really, not with each kite. I mean to say there are only 5 of us. Don't you agree, Pat?
Yes, that's what I mean. There are 5 pilots. One must stand by in case the Wanderer is needed. Biggles will probably keep on the ground to direct operations, and that leaves 3. 3 to handle 12 trips from here to Mergui every day for a month. We just can't do it.
Just a minute, Algy, hang on. No, by Jove, you're right, old girl, we can't. By Jove, I hadn't worked it out in detail like that, and I doubt if the old Biggles bird has either. And baked potatoes, now he's burbled off to this Chancy dump to organise even more rubber, we'll be absolutely swamped with the bally stuff.
Despite all of that, there's nothing we can do except go ahead and move as much as we can. When do we start?
Hello, Algy, when do we start? Oh, this afternoon. Yes, we take the first 2 freighters up, yes. Arrange for them to be loaded so that I can take off first thing in the morning. Roger.
Are you going back too?
No, yes, old dear, I am. I'll ask Algy if he is. Are you coming back with us, old boy? Oh, you're going to stay here, eh? Make a thorough check of the new kites. Good idea. Yes, they will have to be in good nick. Well, look here, can you get 2 buses standing by? And then I can leave my 2 full kites in the morning and take off with empty ones. That'll save delay waiting for them to be unloaded, what? Unless the old Biggles bird has different instructions, what'll we do in that case? Oh, yes. All right, then. Yes, you wait for me. Right, we'll finish our meal and get cracking and join you. After all, this isn't a holiday trip, is it?
I have been wondering why we have not heard the sound of shooting. If there is a fight in progress, we surely should hear something of it from here.
We can take that as a good omen. Marling received our warning and beat them off before we arrived.
In that case, why did we not see the launch returning down the river? No, my friend, I do not like this silence.
But you said that Ayat could reach there before the launch.
He comes. Soon we shall know.
What's happening, Ayat? Did you make it in time?
Oh, I got too slow. Big flooded jungle make him walk round long way. Take long time to get to Chancy, too long.
You mean the launch was already there?
Fight him finish, all wash up. I had see rebel dogs in house, then find coolie hiding in jungle. He told me what happened.
Well, what did happen?
Rebel come sudden in, whoosh, quick time. All coolie work in paddy fields, no one to fight. Prince Lala, he escaped, but Marling,
Tell us, man, what happened to Marling?
they tie him to tree. Touch him to find rubies.
The swine.
It seems that our trip has been in vain.
Even the bloodthirsty Ayat is furious at the fate of Shanxi. Will Biggles turn back, or can his small party assist the unfortunate Marling? Listen for the excitement in the next episode of The Air Adventures of Biggles. The Air Adventures of Biggles. When the rebel launch Lotus passes the hidden Kabang, Lai Chai sends Ayat overland to Shanxi to warn Major Marling of the approaching attack. The rest of the party proceed upstream in their native craft and put into a disused backwater not far from the Major's property. They hear no sounds of fighting and are already apprehensive when Ayat joins them with the news that he was too late. Shanxi has been taken by the rebels before he arrived.
And you say the Major's being tortured?
He tied to tree. They torture later, maybe. Not start when I get there.
The rotten swine. I had no feeling against these rebels. But if this is the way they fight, they can count me an enemy too.
It is their leader, Fatak. He is a cruel man, and he encourages his subordinates to be the same.
I wish we had a big enough force to really take him on. Then as it is,
We aren't going to let them get away with this, are we? The whole rebel force isn't a chancy.
No, but there'd be a fair number of them. Would you say there'd be 20 men up there, Ayat?
Oh, yeah, 20, maybe more, Tuan.
It is a sad decision, but I fear we must turn back and forget that the men of Shanxi were our friends.
I'm hanged if we'll turn back. Not while they're torturing that Major. Call yourself a pirate, Lai Chai? Haven't you ever taken an odds-on before?
When I have known that I could prevail against them.
We may not win, but we could make a nasty mess before we went under.
Oh, many heads fall. I heard use parang. Bagus parang. Yeah, we fight good kill, much mati, yeah.
Yes, that's more like it. Come on, Ayat, we'll tackle them alone.
Yeah, Ayat, come to her.
You will stay, Ayat.
I know how you feel, Ginge. But what happens to the rubber if we're wiped out? We're here on a job, you know.
And what happens to that Englishman if we bolt? We can't leave him there, Biggles.
Oh, I'm hanged if I know. Lai, what do you think?
The decision is yours, my friend. I shall abide by it.
It certainly goes against the grain to leave that poor devil at their mercy. All right. We'll recce the place. If there's a chance to rescue Marling, we'll grab him and bolt for it. That's the most we can do.
Come, Ayat. We shall lead them to Shanxi.
Listen to them. They're laughing, crowing over the poor devils they've killed.
There was good food and liquor in the Major's bungalow. The rebels are now enjoying their loot. It is customary in such raids.
Is the bungalow far from here?
Through this belt of timber. Not many yards.
Ayat, where was Marling tied? This side?
Yeah, Tuan. Tree near house. This side.
All right. We'll cut the talk, all of you, and sneak up very quietly. If we can see from the edge of the jungle...
Great Scott! Who the blazes?
Prince Lala.
Who are these people, Lai? Why do they approach my father's house?
They are the English airmen he invited to visit him. This is Prince Lala, Major Marling's son.
I'm glad to see you escaped. Have you been hiding in this tree all the time?
No, I climbed the tree when I heard you approaching. Until then, I'd been hiding in the jungle and watching the pollution of my father's house.
What's going on? Is your father...
He's still alive. But for how long, I do not know. They've tied him to a tree, and when they've eaten and drunk all they can find, they plan to torture him.
Then they haven't started yet.
It will be soon. They've been swilling like disgusting hogs, so there can be little left to pour into their filthy throats. You see, my father keeps a stock of rubies in a secret place. One of the servants babbled of this, and the bandits are trying to force him to tell where it is.
Major Marling will never tell. Torture will be useless.
That is why I am insane with worry. If my father were a different man, he would speak and be saved the pain.
Would you have him tell Lala?
No. No, he is the lord of Shanxi. But the pain, he is not young. Torture will kill him.
We may be able to help. Tell me, are there sentries posted?
No. There are men standing by my father and jeering at him. But why should they post sentries? What have they to fear from a few coolies armed only with spades and knives?
Your father had many servants, Lala. Did they not fight when the rebels attacked?
Most of them are far away in the fields. The house servants did what they could, but they were not carrying their arms. If you approach close to the bungalow, you will see their bodies on the lawns.
It's a pity you didn't have some pre-arranged signal to call your men together in case of an attack.
I could call them together at once with this whistle which I wear around my neck, but I was captured before I knew what was happening. When I escaped, it was too late. To summon the laborers then would have been to bring death to them all. Oh, but please, must we talk of these things? Already the torture may have started.
We'll go at once. There's nothing we can do about Shanxi, but we'll try to rescue your father and take both of you back with us to Dolphin Island. Lead the way, Lala.
How did you get on, Bertie? Did you find someone who could speak English?
Oh, yes, eventually, old dear, but sizzling sausages, was it tough. About the only English words the blighter knew were Gene Autry and Blimey. However, by dint of much use of the Lissy tact and patience, we got along famously.
I can imagine.
But I must have a word with the old Biggles sausage. Next time he leaves the island, he positively must leave someone here who can understand civilized talk, and doesn't gape at perfectly normal statements like sizzling sausages and baked potatoes.
What did you find out?
Well, the Trouts haven't come back yet from this Shanxi joint. The only instructions Biggles left were to carry on the good work. So I ordered the natives to load our 2 kites right away.
Bertie, I've been wondering about this Shanxi trip. It seems an awfully dangerous venture.
Probably as dull as ditchwater, old darling.
I don't know. You said it's up the Pakchan River, didn't you?
Well, there was some burble about that. I'm afraid I don't remember the details. When we Lissies heard we were going to join you, all lesser natures like that sort of oozed out of the jolly old noddle.
The rebels hold the country around the mouth of the Pakchan. That means Biggles would have to sail right through them. Probably within a mile or so of their headquarters.
Oh, by Jove, yes. Well, that would have added spice to the old pudding, what? They might have had a spot of fun after all.
They may have been captured.
Oh, I don't know, old dear. Just because they had to tootle past a few unpleasant sausages doesn't mean they're being gobbled up by them. Oh, I say, what a lovely thought. Ginge being swallowed up by a sausage.
Be serious, Bertie. If there's a chance that they're in trouble, are we wise to leave for Singapore without finding out?
Oh, I see. You're planning a sprint across to the mainland, to see if they've been nabbed. Oh, no, old darling. No, I think you're on the wrong track. Our job is to shift what...
Yes, but they aren't back yet. That could mean that...
Oh, yes, well, it could mean all sorts of bally things. But it probably means they haven't had time to make it yet. I think someone said Shanxi is about 50 miles from here, and they were travelling in some frightful old junk affair, so they'd scarcely be back before tomorrow anyway.
I suppose so.
Oh, yes, and every couple of hours we waste means a couple of loads of rubber that aren't moved. I mean to say we'd better get used to it, old darling. For the next few weeks we're going to positively wallow in the blooming stuff. And we must start wallowing tomorrow morning.
Oh, all right. I'll be sensible and fly to Singapore with you. I suppose that's what Biggles would expect. But I'll worry about them until I see them all safely back here on the island.
So will I, old darling. So will I, by Jove.
There is my father tied to that tree. They start. Anjing Kota.
Control yourself, Lala. We shall not assist your father if we raise our voices.
We'll have to get cracking. That big swine is getting something out of the fire now.
What is it?
It is a native spear. It has been brought to red heat in the coals. He intends to press it against the Major's body.
No, he won't.
Take care, Biggles.
Good on you, Biggles. You've started it. The fight's on.
Start shooting, all of you. Shoot like mad. Hey, what in the dickens?
We shall have help. I have summoned my laborers.
Then we may have a chance. Ayat, you want to fight?
Ayat going with Fang.
No, not here. Show Jins away to the landing stage. Both of you will take the Lotus. Have it standing by in case we need it. Can you do it?
My word, we can. Come on, Ayat. We'll show the swine how to fight. Oh, we're going to be done out of it. There's only one man on guard.
Tuan, stay here. Ayat fix.
No, wait a minute.
Ayat fix. No need for two. Come, Tuan. Lotus belong us now.
You're a bloodthirsty devil. Must you wipe your knife on your sarong?
Oh, make him clean. Oh, use parang some more soon.
Not for the moment. Hop aboard and we'll see how to start the motors.
Tuan, look. Rebel come from the house, much rebel.
Good grief, it must be the whole gang. We'll never handle that mob. Quickly, Ayat, get aboard.
Too late, Tuan. They see us. We fight. Oh, now we fight.
Ginger looks round frantically for cover as a dozen men race down the slope towards him. Can he and Ayat hold them off? What has happened at the bungalow? Don't miss the next thrilling episode of The Air Adventures of Biggles. The Air Adventures of Biggles. The sight of a big native thrusting a red-hot spear at Major Marling is too much for Biggles. He casts away all caution and shoots. At once the fight is on. Marling's son, Prince Lala, signals his labourers to join in, and Ginger and Ayat are dispatched to take over the rebels' launch, while the others pound at the enemy as fast as their rifles can shoot. The lone guard on the Lotus is killed, and Ginger and Ayat are about to board her when they're interrupted by a commotion on the hill. A group of rebels is racing down the slope towards them. Ginger is about to seek cover, but Ayat thinks otherwise.
Now we fight. Ayat not run from rebel dog. We fight, we kill.
Get aboard, you idiots. There's cover on the launch.
No cover. Ayat fight calm.
I will not come, and neither will you. You'll get aboard if I have to drag you there.
Take hand from Ayat. I kill.
Keep your knife away, you fool.
Oh, no, bully. I go to fight.
Now, here we are. Now, duck out of sight and keep your thick head down, or I'll whack it with my rifle.
Can't make card of Ayat. I fighting man, not like hide on boat.
We can at least shoot back from here. Might even hold them for a while.
Ayat get to them with bagus parang. No at us.
You'd never have got to them. You'd have been shot down before you'd gone 10 yards. There, look, they're ducking for cover.
Rifle good maybe, but parang more good. Much bagus.
Your parang did its job when you killed the sentry. You can use it again if they come close. But until they do...
Tuan! They come! This time they rush!
Yes, I can see them. Don't know that I can hold them with one rifle. Better have your parang ready, Ayat.
Oh, yeah, bagus. Now come real fight.
If only we had another gun. They're running away. What the blazes...
Coolie come. Prince Lala whistle for Coolie. Now they come.
Suffering cats, there are coolies everywhere. They'll cut those rebels to pieces.
Ayat go. Ayat kill a rebel. Not stop me this time. Ayat kill bagus prang. Mati.
Ayat, come back. Oh, well, if he wants his fun, I suppose he may as well have it.
Any more in there, Lai?
No, the rooms are empty. All the rebels have gone. The sight of that pack of wild dogs was too much for them.
Yes, I pity any of the poor devils those coolies catch. They'll be slaughtered like rats.
Do you find sympathy for them after their treatment of Major Marling?
Not much, quite frankly. Swine who practice torture deserve anything they get.
In that case, it will be complete annihilation. Not one of those rebels will be allowed to live.
Where is Lala, by the way? I haven't seen him since we came into the bungalow.
He went to release his father. It is quite a long time. We should have seen him by now.
Perhaps the old man's in a bad way. I think we'd better see if Lala needs help.
They are not by the tree where...
Look here, they come out of the jungle. Good grief. The Major's carrying a rifle.
The battle is over, my friends. We have won. A complete victory.
It is a different Lala we see now, is it not?
Our men are scouring the jungle for the dogs. There are no more than 1 or 2 still alive.
Well, the confounded scrap would have been over before I could join in. Grabbed a rifle as soon as Lala cut me free, but the swine had all gone. Didn't find any live ones. Well, that rebel of mine, well, they got them all.
You certainly have spirit, Major, joining in the fight after the treatment you've been given.
Oh, nonsense. Only a slight burn. Fix it in no time. I don't know you, sir, but it seems I have to thank you for turning the tables on those dogs. You and this old rascal Lie.
Permit me to introduce Inspector Bigglesworth of Scotland Yard. This is Major Marling.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do?
What's this Scotland Yard business? I understand you had English airmen with you, like?
It is Biggles and his friends of whom you have heard.
Yes, actually, we're air police, you see. But we're called on to handle all sorts of odd jobs for the government. Shifting Lie's rubber is one of them.
Didn't know I'd be dealing with police. Not much time for coppers, you know.
I assure you they do not act as policemen, Major. They treat Lai Chai almost with respect.
Well, more than I do for you, you old rogue. Come inside. I had hoped to offer you some hospitality, but now... Great snakes, look at that mess. If I could get my hands on those swine...
That is no longer possible, Papa.
Eh? No, I suppose not. But to turn my place inside out like this... Oh, well, no use squealing about it now. Oh, sit down if you can find a chair that isn't broken.
I shall see if there's food and drink left in the house. My throat feels somewhat parched after the last few hours.
And while you're about it, you might send someone to relieve Ayot and Ginger by the launch, would you? They may not know everything's clear now.
Of course. I shall have them relieved immediately.
Major Marling, may I suggest you treat your hurts? Your clothes are burnt, and the wound under them must be a bad one.
Oh, nothing. Plenty of time to attend to that later. Well, I brought you gentlemen here to discuss rubber, and that's what we'll do.
I won't say I'm sorry we came, but I'm sorry the result of our visit has turned out like this.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the raid. It's altered things considerably. We'll have to reorient our ideas now.
Reorient nothing. I invite you here because I wish to offer my rubber to the British government. Wasn't a decision made lightly. I'm not likely to change it because of a scuffle with a team of untrained curs.
Well, I'd call it more than a scuffle, really. The implications are distinctly more. You won't be able to stay here now, and...
Well, not stay here. What the place are you talking about? Shanxi is my home. These are my people. You don't think I walk out on them?
Yes, I'm afraid you haven't any option. You see, this fight-tack chap won't give up after only one raid. When he hears the result of this, he'll send another party against you. A bigger one this time, so that there'll be no chance of failure.
We'll beat it off. It won't catch us napping again, by heaven. I'll have my natives organized so that we can defy all the rebels on the peninsula. Now, about the rubber.
But, Major, surely it would be wiser for you and Prince Lala to come to Dolphin with us.
I am not leaving Shanxi. That's definite. And I want no more discussion of it.
Well, we can't force you to leave. You're a free agent, and...
Your business is to collect rubber. Concern yourself with that and leave me to handle my affairs. Now, the position is this. I have about 300 tons of latex in stockpiles, and trees are being tapped daily. I suggest you move the stock and make some arrangement with your government to pick up further loads from time to time.
Yes, surely, I'll do that gladly. But we're using a plane, you know. Is there any way here we can land?
Not at the moment, but I had Lala work out something for you. He says we can either drain a stretch of paddy fields or puncture the river banks where I have them dammed. Either method will give us a good flat surface.
I don't understand the second. How will breaking the river banks help us?
Oh, you see, the Pak-Chan River is very shallow and prone to floods. Normally it doesn't keep its bed, but it's prone to cut across the country and ruin good arable land. Now, the object of my dam is to keep its course consistent.
Yes, I see, but
Well, allow me to finish, old man. Allow me to finish, please. By breaking the banks, we shall let a large volume of water away, leaving an area of mudflat. When that dries, it'll make an excellent landing ground.
But, Major, this method will surely flood much of your property.
Only the low-lying fields, and we can drain them again later. Yes. But it'll do more than that. By diverting the water from the main stream, the level of the river will drop from there to the coast. Make it deuced uncomfortable for any shipping at Victoria Point, eh?
No, I think that method would be too drastic, but if you could drain a few paddy fields, that should suit us perfectly.
Oh, right. Yes, it'll be done. Have the work started first thing in the morning. Guaranteed to be ready for you in 2 days. That suits you.
I may not be over for about a week, but I'll definitely send a couple of kites as soon as I can spare them.
I'll leave it to you. Now, if that's all the business, we can relax and enjoy ourselves, eh? I wonder what that young scamp of mine is doing with the supper. He's taking the deuce of a time.
There is another item of business. While you have been talking, I have been thinking of the rebel launch, the Lotus. It will be necessary to dispose of that.
Oh, yes, the craft those dogs used to get here. Well, I don't want it, old man. I have a perfectly good launch of my own. You're welcome to it if it's any use to you.
I think it may be very useful to us. On Dolphin Island, we have a great lack of boats. Surely a powerful launch of 50 tons burden would be a tremendous asset. What is your opinion, Biggles?
Yes, by Jove, I thoroughly agree, but how are we to get it back?
Return it in ourselves. It will certainly be more comfortable than the kebang of the Solonese.
And what about the rebels? We have to pass Victoria Point, don't forget. They won't stand by calmly as we chug past in their launch.
Perhaps they will not know we are in it. If we again travel at night?
But even at night they'd hear us. They'd know the noise of the engine. Someone would be sure to challenge us.
I speak their tongue. It would be simple to give some evasive answer. Perhaps that we had been ordered to a new berth. There are ways of meeting such difficulties.
You'd better give in, old man. I can see a glint in Lie's eyes. It's the glint of an old pirate. You'll never persuade him out of his roguery when that's there.
All right, I'll agree, Lie, and gladly. Wait until we tell Ginger about it. That young hothead will be jumping with glee to be in a stunt like that.
Oh, about time, Lolly. I thought you were never coming. Hey, where's the supper?
I have not yet prepared it.
What's that? Look here, lad, we're hungry. Surely there's food somewhere in the place.
Please, Father, I have bad news.
What is it, Lalo?
As you requested, I sent a man to relieve your friends at the launch. He came back with some stupid story, so I myself went to investigate.
Well?
The launch is gone, and there is no sign of either Ayert or your friend with the red hair.
Ayert is hunting the jungle for rebel scalps, but where is Ginger? What has happened at the landing stage? Listen for more exciting developments in the next chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles. The Air Adventures of Biggles. Shanxi has been retaken, and the few surviving rebels are literally running for their lives from Major Marling's coolies. Although Biggles and those at the house don't know it, Ayert also has joined the pursuing force. Biggles and Lai Chai are discussing the removal of Marling's rubber with the planter when his son, Prince Lala, brings the news that the captured rebel launch is missing, and with it Ginger and Ayert.
You're certain of this, lad? You checked it yourself?
Most certainly. When the servant told me, I didn't believe him, so I went at once to the landing stage. There is no launch there.
Well, perhaps Ginger's taken it into the stream. He and Ayert may not know that the scrap's finished, and that would be an obvious security move.
That possibility occurred to me, so I hurried to the nearest point from which I could command a good view of the river. There was nothing in sight, and I could see all the water within a mile of the jetty.
There would be no cause for them to take the craft as far as that. I fear some ill has befallen them, Biggles.
It's those confounded rebels. I thought we had wiped them all out. Must have been mistaken.
Someone must have come back and overpowered them. Although it'd take a strong party to subdue Ayot and Ginge if they were ready for them.
Perhaps they were not ready. Perhaps they too thought the enemy had been wiped out.
Whatever it was, we'll gain nothing by talk. Marling, can you have some men search the immediate area of the jetty for the bodies?
That is being done. I detailed 2 men to the task before reporting to you. But I saw no bodies while I was there.
It's only a precaution. Our job is to go after the Lotus. Marling, you have a launch, haven't you?
Yes, a nippy little job. It's moored above the jetty. Grab your guns and I'll take you down. It'll give me the greatest of pleasure to come to holes without...
Papa! Papa, what is it?
Oh, my head swung round when I stood up. Stupid. I don't know what's come over me. Must have been...
Quick, Lella! He's falling!
I have him! Poor Papa. He pretends to be so strong. But he's been through too much. Those fiends who tortured him...
Perhaps we shall have the opportunity to repay their actions. But your father cannot come with us. He is ill.
Make him comfortable and then join us by the launch, Lala. Or would you rather stay with him?
I shall follow the rebels. Lai knows the way to the jetty. Once there, you cannot miss the launch. I shall be with you before you're ready to leave.
You know the river, Lai. You'd better take the helm.
I am ready. As soon as Lala is aboard, we shall set off.
Oh, look, he's coming now. Is your father all right, Lala?
I left with him a servant who can be trusted. He will treat the wound, and when my father regains consciousness, will look after him kindly.
Good. Hop aboard, then.
I also spoke with the men who have been searching the riverbank. They have not seen the bodies of your friends.
And we'll hope they're still alive and on the Lotus. Get underway, Lai.
I presume we travel downstream?
Yes. If it was the rebels who took her, they'd head for home as fast as they could go. We'll head the same way, but faster.
It is useless. Either they traveled in the opposite direction or they're going too fast for us. We shall never overtake them.
You are depressed too easily, boy. On open sea, perhaps the Lotus could outstrip us. But on a river which winds and bends as this does, it can travel only at half speed. With the lighter craft, the advantage is with us.
Why do we not see it? It is half an hour since we left the jetty.
We shall see it. Wait and be calm.
We're taking the dickens of a time, Lai. Can't you make any more speed?
Like the patience of my companions, the engines have reached their limit.
Well, of course we're impatient. 12 our men may be captives on that launch. Hasn't it occurred to you what may happen to them?
I do not show my heart, Biggles, but it beats. Ayat is my friend, and I have certainly been pondering his fate, and the fate of those who would deal badly with him. We shall catch them.
If we don't see them when we reach the next bend, we'll never catch them. From there, the river is straight for 10 miles. The Lotus can use her speed, and if that happens, we shall not see your friends again.
It's not far to the bend. As fast as you can go, Lai.
There it is, the Lotus.
But it's half a mile off and pulling away from us. Can't you squeeze anything out of those engines?
Use your rifles. Shoot the helmsman, and then we shall overtake her.
Yes, I'll shoot.
Put down your rifle, Lara.
That is the only way.
Ginge and Ayot may be in that boat. Do you want to kill them?
I am a good shot. Watch, the man at the helm will die by my first bullet.
I said put down your rifle. I don't care how good you are. Shooting at this range can't be accurate. We aren't going to risk the lives of our men.
But, Biggles, if we haven't the speed to overtake them, what else can we do? We'll simply follow and follow until we ourselves are caught.
I don't know yet, but keep on her tail until we can think of some plan.
What is that in the water, ahead of the Lotus? There's an object which is moving.
Yes, by Jove, I see it. A croc, I suppose.
I do not think so. My attention was caught by a flash of light, as if the sun had been reflected from a blade.
That is a man. It is hard to see, but I am sure of it. See? He is still. He waits for the Lotus.
I don't know now what's going on, but they can't have seen him. He'd have been shot.
They do not look ahead with the eagerness of our eyes. May their blindness continue.
It is a man. He has caught the side. He climbs aboard.
There is fighting.
Then grab the chance, I. Get alongside while they're busy.
Thai minyak. Ayat mati.
Ayat, that knife by your foot. Kick it to me.
Wait, Tuan. Ayat free. Ayat kill a rebel dogs. Free, Tuan.
Kick me the knife and I'll free myself. You can't handle 4 of them. That'll do. I can reach it.
Tuan, man come. Ayat no help.
Hands are free. I'll fix him. Ropes off my legs. Now, there are 2 of us to handle now, you swine. See how you like this. Oh. What in the blazes? They're jumping overboard.
Ayat chase. They not get away from Ayat.
No, wait. It's Biggles. Look, there's another launch.
Like Chai. Pritlala. Why do they come? Oh, we not need help.
We may have at any minute. Cut off those engines and let them pull alongside.
Everything okay in there?
Yes, everything's fine. Except that Ayat's disappointed you've come. You've spoiled his fun.
Hang on, we'll come aboard. What's been going on? Aren't you old enough to keep out of trouble?
Well, I thought the fight was over. I was pottering about the launch when 6 of the blighters leapt over the side. I didn't have a chance.
Was not Ayat with you?
He'd gone rebel hunting with the coolies. I didn't see him until a few minutes ago, and coming over the side, he was the best sight I've had in years. The rebels had tied me up and were taking me to Victoria Point for questioning.
Which would have meant torture. And you, Ayat, how did you come to be swimming in the river as the Lotus approached?
Ayat look for rebel dog. Look by jungle. See Lotus come. See rebel. Swim out to reach rebel. Ayat kill. Woohoo, bagus perang.
Yeah, you're a bloodthirsty rogue. Thank heaven for it. If it hadn't been for your parang, we'd have lost both Ginge and the Lotus. And I'd hate to have lost the Lotus. We have plans for her. Well, what's on now? Now we've acquired her, we've decided to keep her. We're going to sail back to Dolphin Island in her tonight.
If we are to reach Victoria Point before dawn, we must return at once to Shanxi and have the rubber loaded.
Yeah.
Already the sun dies from the sky.
What's this about rubber? And how are we to pass the rebels at Victoria Point? They'll hear us.
It's Marling's rubber. We're taking a load back with us. As to your second question, I can only answer that when we reach Victoria Point. Hanged if I like this mist lie. Visibility is so bad we're likely to foul the banks.
Do not concern yourself, my friend. Ayat knows this river as he knows his own hand, particularly this lower portion approaching Victoria Point.
I suppose he's usually made the trip in the dark, eh? Authorities less likely to be on the outlook for pirates.
Many times also have we utilized this early mist. By the rebel campong we shall find it as thick as a cloud. It will greatly assist our concealment.
Hey, Lai, I've been fiddling with the radio in the cabin, and I picked up a signal, but I can't make sense of it. I think it's in Malay. Will you go down and listen?
Of course. It is possibly from the rebel headquarters. Such a message would be of interest to us.
What was it, Lai? Anything to do with us?
Very much, I fear. The Lotus has been ordered to return as soon as possible. The rebels are planning an attack on Dolphin Island. A ship has arrived to carry their troops across.
A ship? Good grief, they do mean business.
It is the Sumatran, a coastal supply vessel of 2,000 tons. Apparently the rebels have recently taken possession of it.
By Jove, a ship of that size could carry a lot of troops.
Very many, my friend. This invasion will be of such strength that our small force will be unable to repel it.
Biggles' expression is grim as he considers Lie's news. Will all his efforts collapse with this move? Will he manage to pass the rebel stronghold in safety? Listen for the next exciting chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.